Cato Institute speaker on neoconservatism and how it is anti-New Deal but pro-war.
Now, the neoconservatives are and always have been, by contrast, defenders of the post-New Deal welfare state. Not surprisingly, then, the neocons support, in the words of Ben Wattenberg, quote, a muscular role for the state, one that taxes, regulates, and redistributes, and, as I shall show later, one that fights. Now, this apparently is what it means, for the neocons at least, to be in the American grain. What really bothers the neocons, however, about small government Republicans is that they lack what they call a governing philosophy. The neocons have long urged the Republican Party to reinvent themselves by giving up their Jeffersonian principles and developing a new philosophy of governance. Ironically, though, the neocons' conception of a governing philosophy is not one defined by fixed moral principles. Instead, it's an intellectual technique defined by pragmatism. The neocons' philosophy of governance is a philosophy for how to rule or govern. It's about how to think politically, which means developing strategies for getting, keeping, and using power in certain ways. The neocons therefore urge the GOP to become chameleon-like and to adapt themselves to changing circumstances. The neocons' pragmatic statesmanship is grounded, I think, in two basic assumptions. First, the identification of the public interest with some kind of golden mean. And second, the conceit that they and only they have the practical wisdom by which to know the golden mean. The neocons therefore believe it to be both necessary and possible for wise statesmen to find the golden mean between altruism and self-interest, duties and rights, regulation and competition, religion and science, socialism and capitalism. Norman Podhoretz, for instance, has argued that the neoconservative statesman should be able to figure out, quote, the precise point at which the incentive to work would be undermined by the availability of welfare benefits, or the point at which the redistribution of income would begin to erode economic growth, or the point at which egalitarianism would come into serious conflict with liberty. In the end, the neocons' strategy to accept the moral ends of liberal socialism, but with the caveat that they can do a better job of delivering the services, or that they can direct those services toward conservative ends, is their particular political method. Now, at the core of my book is the claim that the political